So the cat is finally out of the bag. Rumors were already floating online and it was pretty obvious that the successor of the Humminbird Megalive was on the horizon. I received a ton of questions through Instagram regarding the new live sonar and also the new screens. And here are the ones that I will cover in this video. Compatibility with older screens. Megalive 2, is it actually better than the previous iteration? Does it have a black box? How are the cables and do you need to rewire your whole boat? Pricing and release date. And with the new live sonar I have to talk about the new screen range from Humminbird as well. Now let's dive in. This week I visited the METS, the Marine Equipment Trade Show in Amsterdam. Here you could see the new Megalive 2 in the flesh and also the new screen range called Xplore. Starting out with the Megalive 2 itself, it looks familiar, but at the same time there are noticeable differences. There is a bulge on top of the Megalive sonar and the mount is way more rugged, limiting the amount of wobble you might get while driving around. And besides, it is easier to operate and the different modes are easier to recognize. Yes, they made the letters white instead of the black on black. Simple, but very welcome. Now let's talk compatibility. The Megalive 2 is compatible with Apex, Solix Gen 3 and the new Xplore screens, which come in 9, 10 and 12 inch. Sadly, the Helix units are not compatible. A lot of the processing power from the new Humminbird system comes from the units itself, and the Helix units just cannot handle the data that comes from the Megalive 2. And I think for most of us this will not be a surprise, as the Helix units already struggled a bit with the current version of the Megalive, especially if you run AutoChart and other functionalities on it. This also answers the question about a black box. There is no black box. The new hardware of the Xplore units combined with a new firmware and user interface should do the trick. Also on existing Apex and Solix Gen 3 units. Now let's talk about the performance of the new Megalive 2. Down mode, in my opinion, has always been good. I don't think Humminbird users have a desperate need for improvements there. You never fish deeper than 12 to 14 meters anyway, and the detail is great up towards that depth. To me, it never let anything left to desire, other than strange bugs that it sometimes have when you first boot it up. The other modes, however, those were the modes that some people were struggling with. Forward-facing sonar, by far the most popular mode, started to get complicated beyond 20 to 25 meters. After that, it was a bit difficult. When casting smaller baits, bait tracking was a challenge with the current Megalive. With the new Megalive 2, you should be able to track your bait up to 40 meters or more, even with smaller baits. Now I haven't seen a real-life demo yet, only some footage on people's phones, and it looked promising. Landscape, called perspective mode at Garmin, looked good on the demo. If forward is fixed, then landscape should be viable as well with the new transducer. The new user interface looks refreshing. I was already a fan of the old user interface on Solix and Apex units, but this is definitely an improvement. Humminbird told me that there is a noticeable speed increase with the new user interface on Solix and Apex units, so that is something to look forward to as well. You don't have to switch out your Apex and Solix Gen 3 unit. You can get the new firmware with the new UI later this year. The map is responsive and the waypoint management is definitely an improvement, with the way you can add icons and change colors. Cables, don't worry guys, they are mostly the same, so no complete boat overhaul is needed, and pricing is still under embargo. I expect the new Megalive not to be cheaper than the current version, and the new Xplore units will sit between the pricing of the Helix units and the Solix Gen 3. Meaning it will be a bit more expensive than Helix, but cheaper than the Solix units. Both Solix and Helix units will disappear from the Humminbird roster over time. Release date will be around the 9th of December in the USA, and in Europe we will have to wait until February, sadly. But hopefully I can get my hands on the new models so I can test them and give you more detail about the performance of the new Megalive and the Xplore units. If you have any further questions, drop them down below in the comments.